Malcolm Gladwell's book Outliers, the story of success makes you think about what makes some people very successful. Gladwell doesn't focus on individual character traits or innate genius. Instead, he looks at the outside factors that shape our paths to success, which are often ignored. At the beginning of the book, Gladwell makes an interesting point about a strange thing that happens in Canadian hockey. Almost all professional players are born in the first few months of the year. It turns out that this isn't a coincidence or a cosmic puzzle. It has to do with the age limit for age-class hockey. People who were born earlier in the year are more physically mature when they start playing. This leads to early notice, more training, and a cycle of success that keeps going on its own. This is how Gladwell first talks about accumulative advantage. Next, Gladwell talks about the 10,000-hour rule, which is an idea from scientist Anders Ericsson that Gladwell has taken. This rule says that it takes about 10,000 hours of work to become an expert in any field. Before going to America, the Beatles, for example, played long sets in Hamburg strip clubs, which added up to 10,000 hours. Bill Gates also got his 10,000 hours by being able to use a high school computer at a time when those were hard to come by. Gladwell makes it clear that this isn't just about hard work, it's about the chances and conditions that make hard work possible. Gladwell also looks at how a person's cultural background affects his or her success. He shows this with the example of a terrible plane crash caused by Colombian pilots' respect for authority, which is a deeply ingrained part of their society. On the other hand, he talks about the culture of honor of people who moved to the American South from hilly parts of the UK. Their history of herding, which was a risky way to make a living, gave them a society that fiercely values honor and being ready to fight in defense. This is still true today in the South. Gladwell talks about the big difference in how well children from different socioeconomic backgrounds do in school. He does this by talking about math and education. He gives the example of a school in the US that made a big difference in how well its students did in math by giving them more time in class. This made it less important how much money the students came from. Gladwell then tells the story of Chris Langan, who had a very high IQ but ended up living a normal life. By comparing Langan's life to that of Robert Oppenheimer, the man who invented the atomic bomb, Gladwell shows how important real intelligence is. Oppenheimer had skills like negotiating and being assertive, but Langan did not. He says that success isn't just about being smart, but also about being able to handle social situations. This is another example of how surroundings and culture affect people. In the next chapter, Gladwell talks about the birth dates of most famous Silicon Valley tycoons. He shows that they were all born within a small window of time, which made them ideal for the tech boom. In the same way, he says that Jewish immigrants who came to America at the beginning of the 20th century were in the right place to take advantage of the boom in the clothing industry, which made them very rich and successful. The last part of the book is Gladwell's personal investigation of his mother's roots. He follows her path from a small town in Jamaica to a successful career. His mother's story is a mix of luck, cultural inheritance, and hard work. It shows what the book's main lesson is all about. Outliers argues that a person's success can't be separated from their society, upbringing, timing, and just plain luck. It busts the myth of the self-made man or woman and instead argues that outliers often have hidden benefits, extraordinary chances, and cultural legacies that helped them get where they are. Even though it doesn't make hard work less important, the book makes us think again about how we think about success and the social systems that make it possible. Outliers pushes us to make a world where success has less to do with luck and more to do with giving everyone the same chances.